Because that's the difference between bare knuckle boxing and any other combat sports. In any other combat sports, you feel pain when you get hit. In bare knuckle boxing, you feel pain when you get hit and when you give hits.
Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. We're live. Baboon, thank you for joining the Honey Badger Hour podcast, my brother.
Thank you for having me, brother.
I've been wanting to have you on for a long time, man. This is a big one. My G. All right, so how's it going, my brother? How's everything been? What's new going on?
It's been great, man. It's been great getting ready now for this next battle. I finally get the opportunity to defend my 165-pound title. I never got the chance to. I asked for it in the last 3 fights, and finally, something gave, and they gave me the opportunity to defend it.
Nice, man. And you're back in the BKFC cage, in the BKFC circle, right?
Yes, sir. They call it the square circle.
The square circle,
yeah.
bro. 9 in a row now. I feel like you found your niche in fighting, man. For bare knuckle. I don't know. I feel like you're one of the guys that was born for this. You know?
Yeah, man. When I saw BKFC surface, I mainly saw it through Jim Ayler's. I'm like, hold up, I used to train with this dude, and he was mainly a grappler. But the beast came out of him, where he was the face of the organization. He was taking everybody out. I think he was 3-0 with 3 finishes, or 4-0 with 4 finishes, and until I faced him, right? But when I saw this growing, I said, you mean to tell me I can throw punches? I don't gotta wear gloves, and I don't gotta worry about people taking me down and holding me down? Where do I sign?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was thinking because, man, you've been in the game a long time, my brother. I've been watching you fight since I was a white belt, starting off jiu-jitsu, and then you were already main eventing for the CFAs and, you know what I mean, fighting for all those titles. Yeah. So it's been a long journey, man. And what's crazy is you're fighting in BKFC, and you can't even use your best weapon, your kicks, bro. They don't even know. Do these bare knuckle guys even know about your kicks, dog?
It's funny you mentioned, man. In the last post that BKFC did, they posted my opponent, Austin Trout. He's a former 2-time WBA world champion. They posted a video of him in the interview. He's talking about, Palomino's not the biggest name I faced. I am the biggest name, the most dangerous man he's faced. And I'm like, hold up a second, man. I used to box with 4-ounce gloves, and I faced far more dangerous opposition than you will ever be. On the other hand, you've seen, I've seen everything that you got to bring. You haven't seen everything I got to bring. I've definitely faced a lot more dangerous men than you have. You're one-dimensional, buddy. Take it easy.
Oh, for sure. A lot more dangerous strikers too, of all different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like a straight boxer. Your next opponent, right? Austin Trout. Has he fought bare knuckle before, or?
Yeah. So like I said, he's a 2-time former WBA world champion. So that makes him the highest level glove boxer ever signed to the organization. This guy has faced the Charlo brothers. He's faced Canelo himself and gave him a run for his money. He knocked out Miguel Cotto. And when he debuted in BKFC, he debuted against the Nightmare, Diego Sanchez. It was a good fight. Diego did great in that fight, but he did take the win. He knocked him down. I think it was a stoppage due to a big cut.
Oh, from Diego.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was his only fight.
That was
in BKFC
his first
right
and
now?
only fight in BKFC.
And that was at 165.
That was 165. That was his debut. Was 165, and I said, you know what, man, I've already faced everybody. You know what I mean? I've faced. If you look in BKFC history, nobody has faced more undefeated BKFC fighters than I have. So you might see some records out there that are 6-0 and 7-0. You might see it, but check the records of those guys they fought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
I fought
man.
the cream of the crop. I fought the best. I took care of the best. And since he debuted at 165, I said, you know what, man, I think this would be the perfect candidate. Because I've been asking for a name fight, for, a known name, right? And every time the organization signs somebody in my weight class, like Chad Mendes, for example, that ducked me for an entire year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what happened with that?
He came into the organization, and at the moment that he got signed, I called David Feldman. I told him, hey, when do I get this guy? He's like, hey, hold up a second, champ. He got to get his feet wet. So he get his feet wet. It was a guy named Fames. He beats Fames, and then he just disappears for a whole entire year after I was calling him out,
You fought that night too, right?
I fought that
night. That's the one that I went to. I saw when he fought Fames, and you were the main event.
Yeah, I was the main event.
I believe, right?
So the dude, he just disappears. He even, wrote to me in the DMs, blah, blah. I'm not going to make it public, but, there was exchange of words in a positive manner, respectful manner. But the truth is that he just went away for a whole year, comes back only to fight Eddie Alvarez. And now they signed Eddie Alvarez, right? Which would be like, okay, this is my weight class also. Chad, Eddie Alvarez is in my weight class, right? So guys that I've even followed and looked up to in the MMA times, right? And I'm not getting the fights against them. You know, next thing you know, they're signing. Chad Mendes comes back to fight Eddie Alvarez. Then Eddie Alvarez gets signed to fight. After that, he gets to fight Mike Perry. That is 2 weight classes above him.
He was way.
So it's like I'm like over here, like with my hand up, like what's going on? How come I'm not getting these big names? You know. So then I say, you know what, man? At this point, you know, I guess I gotta stop calling other people in my weight classes. They just do not want to face me. And I went as far as calling out Mike Perry for the last 2 years. So after this fight, I'm hoping we get that fight.
That's a fight. That's a fight right there, bro. There's 2 guys who were born for this game. I was gonna say, besides you, that's another one. We can't take nothing away from Perry. Not
at all.
He loves the chaos. He loves the violence. You know.
Yes.
But man, so fighting in bare knuckle, right? Did you feel like your game has evolved a lot from the MMA to bare knuckle, right? Like I feel like it's like a different Baboon. I've noticed like in when you're fighting bare knuckle, like more smart, more tactical, but more vicious. So it's like. Is that something that you were working on over the years, or like for bare knuckle you made adjustments?
Yeah, for one, we were working on that because I've been training with Tigre, Eric Castaños, for the last 7 years, and he's cleaned out my boxing to another level, like boxing level. You know what I mean? Where I've always been able to focus on boxing like I never did before. Before it was just MMA, everything, wrestling, grappling. And on another note, you know, it's kind of like you come from jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you remember when we used to train with the gi?
Yeah, I never did. I started like no gi, but yeah.
All right, so I started with the gi.
Okay, yeah.
I did 1 year of gi. And you'll hear this from any jiu-jitsu practitioner, right? Once you take off that gi, you feel free.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You heard that before, right?
Yeah.
And you have the gi on. It's like it's harder to get submissions, to get out of submissions. But when you take that gi off, like, whoa, you're free. That's the way it felt when I went from MMA to bare knuckle. Like my freedom. You know, like, whoa, I don't have to worry about that takedown. I don't have to worry about being under. I don't have to worry about the 5-minute round where somebody's trying to hold me down, praying to God that I don't get back on my feet to, you know, whoop their ass. You know what I mean? So once I got that freedom in my head, yes, you see the evolution of my boxing skills. You see, you know, my free spirit to be able to swing with everything when I want to, how I want to, you know, the speed, the power, the display, you know, and the adaptability that I bring to the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we've grown a lot. We've done a lot of practicing, a lot of training with Tigre. We brought it to a different level, but at the same time, I feel free now. You know,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because you're not worried about those legs, you know, and then you can move and groove the way you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be, because I'm sure a lot of the movements you have to take away when you're thinking so much about that shot or whatnot.
Yes,
you know?
big time. And like you mentioned, the kicks. I love kicking. Don't get me wrong, but there's a big difference between kicking, punching, and grappling wrestling than just kicking and punching. And even kicking and punching, like if you get a boxer and you put him in a place where, you know, to kick, even if the guy's been practicing kicks for like a year or two, it will never be the same, right? Because there are certain things in boxing that you just can't do. You can't evade certain punches because you'll catch a kick.
Yes. Yeah.
You
can't roll, right? You can't roll.
Yeah. So I do miss the kicking, and I would love to get back to that. You know, maybe Karate Combat that has mentioned doing some sort of cross promotion with BKFC. I'd love to go and represent BKFC over there, 100%, where I don't have to worry about takedowns and grappling, you know.
So, you hit him with the wheel kick, dog. You can do the capoeira on him again, bro. You can bring the capoeira back, dog.
Bring the capoeira back. Exactly.
Man, that's right. So I wanted to ask you about that. Is that how you started martial arts? Was capoeira and back in the day? Or
so
like...
the first thing that I did was boxing. I boxed when I was 10 years old to 13, just 3 years. That's it. 10 to 13 in California. My father goes to prison. I come to Miami. Wow. When I came to Miami, I wanted to go in boxing. And my mom said, hell no. Why? Because for me to get to a boxing gym where I was living, I had to take like 3 different buses. I was 13 years old. I was 14. I had just turned 14. You remember Miami 27 years ago, 28 years ago. It's not today. You know, back then it was gang activity everywhere. Everybody was a part of some gang, the Wilos and the syndicates and this, you name it. So it was so much trouble, shooting, stabbings, and the boxing just happened to be in the hood. You know what I mean? So my mom said, no, you're not going 3 buses to go. No, you know? So I started fighting in the street every day, you know, just mad at the world, mad that they took my father from me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And from boxing, I come to Miami, I can't box, and then I go into capoeira, Brazilian martial arts. So that's, you know, capoeira really saved my life. Capoeira kept me from the street. Capoeira kept me from killing myself or probably killing somebody or just being in prison. Mm-hmm. You know, thanks to capoeira. And I became a professor in capoeira. I learned how to speak Portuguese through capoeira. And then came jiu-jitsu and MMA afterwards.
Wow, so then the capoeira led to the jiu-jitsu and everything.
Yes, definitely.
That's right, so you can speak Portuguese.
Yeah, fluent.
Oh, how good is that? That's one language I always wish I wanted to learn, because whenever
Yeah.
I have a lot of Brazilian friends, and then they start speaking in Portuguese, I'm like, damn, because you kind of know, but you don't. You don't know what the hell they're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Once you get the accent, you understand a little better.
Yeah.
But I picked it up, and remember, in capoeira, there's music. So you got to play instruments, you got to sing, and my Mr. Cesar just started, he said, look, you understand everything I say, right? Yeah. So, okay, from now on, I'm only going to speak to you in Portuguese. Okay. So then we did that for like a year. And then after a year, I says, okay, now when you talk to me, only talk to me in Portuguese. I said, okay. And then he would just correct me to the point I perfected it. People think I'm Brazilian sometimes.
That's so good. Yeah, for sure. They wouldn't have no idea, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then, you speak Portuguese, but you're a straight striker, though. You ain't trying to have that. You ain't playing no guard, though. You ain't busting no triangles on nobody.
No,
for
I'm
now.
not sitting down and waiting for you to come now. Hell no.
But you hit him with the spinning wheel kicks, That's one of the things I love about capoeira. It does translate the dynamic movements. At first, when MMA first started, you're like, oh, that shit doesn't work. Yeah. But now you see, as the game evolves, all those kicks are coming back, huh?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, people would classify it as it doesn't work because you have this dancing form to it in acrobatics, that's the way the capoeira was born, right? Capoeira, you have to remember, capoeira was in the time of slavery when the Mongolian slaves were brought to Brazil by the Portugal. And it's like, if you and I were slaves, we can't train martial arts. You know what I mean? So what they would do is they would go to the capoeira fields, that's what they call it, capoeira fields, like long, tall grass. And they would practice the martial art in a hidden form of a dance playing instrument. So the slave masters thought they were just chilling out on Sundays, hanging out, playing music, but doing acrobatic dances. But really they were practicing a martial art hidden inside. So when you separate that and just do the kicks straight up, that's the dangerous part.
When you say that story, it makes me wish why didn't I start with capoeira? That's the most gangster story I've ever heard of any martial art, bro.
That's how it was, man.
Wow. So they were like hiding in the crops.
In the crops.
So capoeira is like a form.
Like a high grass. That's what they call it.
Yo, that's heavy, dog.
Yeah. And
then they're actually like learning how to like fucking get these masters.
Exactly.
Like, yo, one day we're going to be free and we're going to head kick all these guys, dog. Yo. So then you got into, and then that's when you started MMA. What was MMA like in Miami?
So then after years of capoeira, capoeira in Brazil, it's different than capoeira in the United States, in Miami. In Miami, you can't be getting into fights in the street. Remember, in capoeira, there's no gloves, there's no shin guards, there's none of that stuff. You know what I mean? So in capoeira in Brazil, it's like, I have a group, you have a group, they have a group, and you've seen the circle. And you see how one person goes in, the other person goes in, the other person goes in. So there's all, like, say, like 10 of us against 10 of you and 20 of them. We're all in different teams, and we're cutting in to play with each other, showing who's best. Well, when it's raw capoeira, you're talking about, like, heels to the temple at full body spinning. People have died in Brazil plenty of times from having their heart stopped from a puntera. Puntera is like the Leon Machida kick.
Yeah.
That he got to the chin, but to the heart. And it stopped the heart, it's killed people. The Meia Luas to the temple, killed people. So it's very dangerous. You know what I mean? So you can't do that in the United States. You go to jail. So as we kept progressing and getting better, we would go to baptisms, where everybody comes and they want to show their skill. So first, the kids get their belts, a ceremony for the belts, right? And after the kids, the music changes. So if you don't know about the music, you just want to go in there, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Because the music changes from a certain rhythm to a professor, contramestre, and master rhythm. So in that rhythm, only if you're like an instructor, professor, contramestre, or master, you can play in there because it's very dangerous and it's competitive.
And if you miss, you can get bodied.
You get, and no, it's not even if you miss. It's like they're trying to kick you in the head because I'm trying to show you I'm better than you.
And you got to evade.
You understand what I'm saying? So like when that started happening, fights would break out.
Yeah.
And my mestre and I, Mr. Cesar, we would get in trouble. Like we would go to Orlando, we'd go to different places for the batizados, and we would go deed up only with soldiers. Only with like, if there was like 20 or 30 of them, there was only like 10 of us. But it was 10 that we can fight to the end.
Yeah.
And it was like that. But sometimes the fight will break out and everybody jump in. And then we'll start getting in trouble. And then I told my trainer, look, man, I don't want to make my mom suffer. She suffered enough. I want to do this pro thing. I started seeing old friend of mine. They were called the Asunção brothers. They fought in UFC. Junior Asunção, Rafael Asunção. Right. So if you see, they have this tattoo.
Yeah.
So this tattoo was from before I met Mestre Cesar. This was called Abolição. And I was named Baboon after the logo. I was the best in the group. You see what I'm saying? So then you can only get this tattoo once you reach instructor or professor level. So once you were instructor, professor, mestre, contramestre, then you can have the tattoo and represent the group. You know what I'm saying? So when we became at that level, my boy Rafael, I saw him on TV he wasn't on TV. I saw him fight here. The first fight I ever saw live in MMA was at the War Memorial. Remember those?
Yeah.
And at the War Memorial, Rafael fought there, and I went there because it was my friend that I hadn't seen in 5 years that was living in Atlanta. He came over here and he fought George Masvidal in the War Memorial. And I was like, that was the first time I see Masvidal fight. And I was like, man, I told my trainer, I never trained MMA yet. I told my trainer, I want to fight that guy one day, Masvidal. And I was like, I was impressed, And it was because of them that I said, I want to do this. And he said, okay, well, if you want to do this, you need to start all over again. So, and this is like when you have to be humble now. Because now you go into the jiu-jitsu gym, you're tough. I'm tough mentally. Yeah. I'm a street brawler. I can kick.
And you're already like a capoeira master,
but
right?
I can't wrestle or grapple worth the shit. So then now it's like you got to start from zero all over again. It's a time of being humbled. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay. Like I would get tapped and I would, no, let's go again. I'll get tapped, no, let's go again. To like the point that would try to hurt me because I just wanted to keep going. Yeah. I didn't understand. it, And that was when I trained with Josh Pareda. That's what I started with.
Okay.
And I trained with Josh Pareda for about 8 months. In 8 months, I became a blue belt. And within 8 months, I did my first pro fight. No amateur fights.
Wow.
At 170 pounds, weighing about 165, not knowing about weight cuts.
And there was no amateur back then. So it was just like, if you want to fight, go.
You want to go pro? When I told Josh Pareda, he had been training a guy, I don't remember his name. The guy was a brown belt in this time, and he was waiting to become a black belt to do his debut in MMA. In the same show that I fought, which was ACB, Absolute Championship, something like that. And when I said to him, to Pareda, that I wanted to fight in that card that was coming up, which was like 4 months away, I had only had like 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? People were laughing at me, but these people didn't know that I spoke Portuguese.
Oh, and they're all there.
They were talking shit. They were like, look at this motherfucker. He's been here like 3-4 months. He's not even a blue belt. He thinks he's going to fight. And this guy's here has been, I don't know how many years. He's a brown belt. He's about to become a black belt. He hasn't even done his debut. They would talk shit about me like next to me. But I never let them know that I know how to speak Portuguese.
Oh, fuck.
So I just let them keep talking. I kept fueling me, And I ended up doing my debut before that guy. Before the black belt. And I won by knockout. Minute 23 seconds. My second fight, 25-second knockout.
Oof, in Miami.
Yes, sir. And then they came and they're congratulating me. And I spoke to them in Portuguese.
That's a movie scene right there.
Yeah, buddy.
You got to sell that script.
Yeah,
I think I know somebody, bro.
Yeah, buddy. I understood everything you were saying. Yeah.
Oh, my God. How good, right? Like,
Yeah.
man, so then that's how I got started.
That's how it started, man.
But so it's kind of, that's an interesting point because you're already kind of like a martial art master. Like you were so good at the capoeira that you just have to adjust and get the...
I had to, it's not even an adjustment, bro. I had to start all over again, man. You just humble the shit out of me. It does that to you, doesn't it? It humbled the shit out of me. I thought I was stronger. I thought I was better. I thought I was faster. I thought I was tougher. Click, tap, tap. Like, what the fuck? What is this?
Yeah. And the era you started in, when you started fighting, that was like the era where like the wrestler jiu-jitsu guys were like kind of dominating. Yeah,
they were
right?
dominating.
It seemed like the levels changed a little bit,
Yeah, before like it started with the strikers. Remember?
Yes.
UFC bare knuckle.
Yeah.
It started with the strikers, and then the wrestlers, then the grapplers came in, the Gracies.
Yep.
And they took over for years. And then what happened in the UFC later on? The wrestlers. The wrestlers started taking over. And then it was a battle between the wrestlers and the grapplers. And then there was a time where the Chuck Liddells.
The Sprawl and Brawl came. Rampage, Sprawl and Brawl, the Ultimate
strikers
Cheetah.
again.
You know
the strikers were good takedowns.
They came back,
With good takedown defense. Yeah.
Yes, that became like, that was huge, for a little bit. But then you saw like the George St. Pierre's and stuff that were
the George Aldos, George St. Pierre's, the BJ Penn's,
Oh, BJ. Well, BJ was an anomaly, huh?
Anomaly, man. I think that dude was a black belt within 3 years, man. That's what they call him, the prodigy.
Black belt in 3 years, and then always had natural hands.
Crazy,
just like a born fighter.
And he fought how many weight classes?
Oh my gosh.
55, 70, 85, 205.
Fought Loyola Machida.
Yeah.
And gave Loyola Machida a hard fight.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
I heard Machida talking on a podcast recently about how that was like a crazy fight. He's talking about like, I was fighting a 55er, and it was like a really tough fight, so... Yeah, those were the golden eras.
Golden eras.
I think now we were like, I don't know, but we were like in the striking era for a while.
Yeah.
Like Izzy was the champ. There's
Yes.
like a lot of dynamic strikers were killing people, you know?
Yeah, I think we're back on that again. And in the end of the day, even Dana says it like, abruptly. He says it like, he likes watching the strikers, man. He likes watching it. He doesn't like the whole just holding down and, holding, making points, which happened for a long time, But now you see the strikers that before you would go to MMA gym and it would be like predominant striking, predominant wrestlers. There were grapplers. You knew what camp you were in.
Yeah.
Now it's like these kids are growing with a full arsenal.
And they can do it all.
They can do it
already
all.
by 17, 16.
It's crazy, right?
It's wild to see. Yeah. And the fights are getting so high level, but now the problem is the fights may be so competitive that they're not going to be, when you get two super high level guys, it's not going to be the most exciting.
Sometimes, they neutralize each other, right?
They neutralize it. Sometimes you need the mismatch for the money.
Yeah.
For the fans, dog. Everybody wants to see a good knockout, dog,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, like, what do you think? All right, so how do you think the judging and stuff, that's what I was going to talk about. What do you think about like the judging and stuff? Like
that's still behind time, man.
Right? It's really bad, bro.
And it's fucking the fights, man. It's really messing the fights.
How many fights? So how do you feel about when a guy just holds you? Like what does a takedown consist of?
Look, I'll tell you this much. Like I suffered many losses. Like I didn't get beat up. Like if you want to talk about me getting beat up, you're only gonna mention one fight. That was Gagey. If you want to call me getting beat up, which was a back and forth thing, really, right?
War.
But that's the one fight that you'll see that I was messed up. Mostly in my fights, I was doing the damage. And when I lost close decisions or split decisions to somebody that held me down and didn't do a damn thing. So like when it comes to taking down, and yes, I understand it's called cage control. But what good is cage control if you're not producing any damage? Like if I'm leaving the fight like this, how I entered, what good is that cage control? If you're controlling me like that in a street fight, at some point I'm gonna get up.
Yeah, if you can't finish,
if you're not hurting me, if you're not submitting me, if you're not putting me in a strangle choke where you can put me to sleep or taking out one of my limbs, which that wasn't happening to me because my jiu-jitsu was very good. My jiu-jitsu was so good that I would neutralize it, but I would stay on my back because I was so comfortable and I wouldn't get ground and pounded on. The people, if you ground and pound me, you gave me the chance to get up.
Yeah, so they don't want to give you no space.
So you were just holding
you, bro. And
so I lost a lot of fights like this, and I'm like, man, then my last fights, I think it was out of my last 5 fights, 3 or 4 were in Russia against the Russians.
The Dagestan wrestlers, right? We were
you know what I'm saying?
That.
And what did I lose over there? The only fight that I ever won over there in decision was against a Brazilian. You don't win against a Russian in Russia, you know what I mean, through a decision. You know what I mean? So it's like, split decision, Russia.
That's a division where they got the guy with the beard, like they're watching. He's like, they're just like.
So I had that was the first time that I lost like 4 fights in a row, and 3 of them were in Russia, and the 4th one was in Chile. I was already completely done with fighting mentally. Yeah. I was going through a real tough time. To me, it's like I lost my son again. My son had just gone to move with his mom again, and not gone by his own will. His mom would just take him, disappear from my life, so it messed me up. I was going through a separation from I was engaged, I was losing everything. So I was like, mentally, I was done, you know what I mean? And then I take this fight, right? After making like $40K in the Gagey fight to taking a fight, I made one of the fights in Russia, just a bonus, a fight of the night bonus in which I lost to the Russian in a split decision. Just the bonus was $10K. To fighting in Chile for $3,000. I was like, I didn't even want to do that. You know what I mean?
So it was a different promotion?
It was completely promotion. I just did it I think I just did it just to do it, bro. I was living in the gym. I was in the lowest point of my life. And I said, man, at this point I'm just hurting my legacy, man. So I just, I didn't do it publicly, but I kind of retired from MMA. You know what I mean? And that's when BKFC came up.
So BKFC ended up kind of being like a blessing in disguise, the way it came out.
Oh, yes.
And that's when you started coming out with the samurai outfit?
so it's funny you asked the samurai theme. If you look at my Instagram, which was how many years, right? I've had that probably over 10 years, right? In Instagram, I always put samurai spirit. So I always had this connection with a samurai inner me, right? And then in that bad time that I just explained, in my lowest point, that's when I met my wife today, right? And my wife happens to be full breed Japanese. She doesn't like when I say that, by the way, because I breed dogs. She's like, I'm not a dog. You're full breed Japanese. And it's funny. It's like when I finally introduced her to my family, right? My younger sister, reminds me of something that my mom had been telling me since I was like 15 years old. You don't even think about it, So my mom's been telling you to get married with a Japanese woman since you were 15 years old. Like, what? I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, I was telling my mom, where the hell am I gonna find a Japanese woman here in Miami? Well, it was a blessing. It was a blessing because now at the age of 37, I think it was, when I first met her, till today that I'm 43. 37, 38, 43 years old now, and we're riding on 4 years, going on 5 years undefeated.
9 fights in a row.
9-0, yes sir.
And bare knuckle, the rebirth, baby.
The rebirth.
I love it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, man. Wow. And so the bare knuckle came out, and it was a sport that you were born for.
Yeah, that was it. That one was it for me,
Like 100%.
And many people, including my family, were like against it. They were like, no, you're not doing that. You shouldn't do that. Close friends were like, bro, you sure about that? Especially when you're coming from 4 losses, they look at you like, bro, I know you're crazy, but now you're really real crazy,
Yeah.
You just.
Oh, so they were looking at more like on like, do you sure you want to keep fighting? Not like, because I was thinking more like, yo, that danger, bro. I don't know about I know the checks. It's just like, but you are an anomaly in bare knuckle because you haven't come out yet of a fight looking like some of these cats, bro. With or your hands get super.
Yeah, your hands get swelled up. Yeah, your hands are
bro,
into
you just accept that that's gonna happen, huh?
Yeah,
like
but there is a conditioning that I've been doing for the hands, also from Japan. It comes from Japan, from Okinawa, Japan. I think it's Kyokushin karate, where they started doing a board that's called a makiwara. So I do that to condition my fist, my knuckles, and thanks to the makiwara, thanks to that teaching, I've only suffered 1 fracture in 9 fights.
Wow.
While most people are like doing a lot more than that type of damage, because that's the difference between bare knuckle boxing and any other combat sports. In any other combat sports, you feel pain when you get hit. In bare knuckle boxing, you feel pain when you get hit and when you give hits.
Oh, okay, yeah. But in the but sometimes with the gloves, you don't feel it in a fight, right?
With the glove, I mean, you have
like
to. I've fractured my hands like 3 or 4 times in MMA with the 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just hit a hard part of the head, But you gotta think about it like this, right? Your hands sometimes, even with the small gloves, don't close completely.
Yeah.
Right? So your hand will stay a little open. And then when you go and hit, it's not completely closed, that will cause the little bones to break, right? And another thing is that since you're having hand wrap and glove in, you're not conditioning your fist.
No.
You know what I mean? So bare knuckles, since I started, I've been conditioning my fist. And the only fracture that I got was because I landed it straight in the forehead. I mean,
that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I saw that on your socials that you've been doing that training. That's like the wood one that you do.
Yes.
Like, so it's got to help dividends with that.
Oh,
stuff,
hell yeah, yeah. 'Cause it produces like micro fractures and it gets stronger with time. But
like you build calluses around.
Yeah,
I guess.
but you have to do it every day, man. That's not I've had my makiwara in the gym, and I've had it break like 2 or 3 times. I don't have it in the gym anymore. I have it in my house now. Because people come in, they want to show off in the video, and they hit it like crazy. They're bleeding. Like, it's not about that, man. You got to do it every single day.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. And when you're doing bare knuckle, like, are you aiming in different spots of the chin? Like, are you looking for like certain, like, you don't want to just be going. You really got to be calculated with where you throw, right?
Yeah,
like
so like even one of the sickest animals in glove boxing history, Mike Tyson. How does he refer to boxing? He says boxing is a thinking man's sport, and that's with gloves. And you're hearing that from an animal, right? That would say, "I'm ready to eat your kids." He would say that, right? There's a beast telling you. This is a thinking man's sport, right? Well, if you don't have gloves on, what do you think that makes it, man? And even more of a thinking man's sport. You know what I mean? You can't afford to make the mistakes that you make in glove boxing because there is no gloves. You don't necessarily have to be the better person to win a fight here, man. You get a cut big enough and you lost, and that guy could have been a shitty ass fighter. He could have closed his eyes, landed a big cut, boom, and fight stopped. You know what I mean? So you can't make mistakes.
So you got to be like
you got to be sharp, man.
Locked. You got to be sharp.
You got to be sharp. You got to be sharp with your defense. You got to be sharp with your attacks. You don't want to waste punches. And when you strike, you want to try to make sure you hit that bullseye. Because when you hit that hard part of the head, you hit this here, you hit this here. Like look at this, how funny it is, right? Like right there is soft. A little higher, and you break your hand.
Oh yeah, this is the
You
the
know what
trouble
I'm
spot.
saying?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
right
it's
here.
kinda, it's like a,
You know what I'm saying? Like you have the tempo, it's nice and soft right there. You hit people, they go down. It takes you away your equilibrium. You know, but you go right behind it, right there to the top, and you hit that part right there, broken hand.
yeah, it's crazy. Yo, bare knuckle, it's like the evolution. Like it started with MMA. They're like, yo, these guys got the little gloves, and now they got the no gloves on. You know, but like. It's all the best parts of fighting that people want to see, right? They're always like, stand up. There is no stand 'em up, ref, in bare knuckle. You know, like
It gives it full circle, man. Like where did it come from? Glove boxing was born from bare knuckle boxing, and the only reason why the gloves were ever created wasn't to protect the opponent's face. It was to protect the fighter's hand so the fight can last longer.
for betting and shit. I think it's for betting too, you know, or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Have you fought? You've traveled, right? You fought all over for BKFC.
Yeah. For BKFC, I haven't traveled as much. They haven't flown me that much. We went to Mississippi. Where else did we fight? I think that was it. They like me here in Florida, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're like,
yeah,
I've seen
but
you here a few
now
times,
there's
but-
good talks. There's good talks. There's no confirmation yet, but there's good talks about future talks with Abu Dhabi, with Japan. I mean, BKFC is growing fast, man.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing promised. There's nothing on the books yet. But I already told them, no, I need to get out there. You know?
gotta go to Japan.
Oh,
You guys go to Japan. You go your
You
way.
can't
That'll
go to
be next
Japan.
level, bro.
You can't go to Japan and not take the samurai, bro. You know
That's what
I
I'm
mean?
saying.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Have
saying?
you ever been to Japan?
Yeah, but
Japan
I
is
went
so
last
dope,
year.
right?
I went last year for the first time when my wife almost didn't come back.
Bro, is it like not the nicest place you've ever been in the world,
I was
bro?
you've been there
Yeah, I've
obviously
been
for
there a
one.
few- yeah, I've been there a
I was
few
there for
times.
3 weeks, my brother. I came back with this like zen that she'll laugh, right? I came back with this zen that I did not answer my phone for. I'm not exaggerating. For like I was 3 weeks out, and then 2 weeks that I was here in Florida, I didn't answer the phone for 2 weeks to anybody. And I couldn't I didn't even understand what it was, to the point that my wife came, babe, people are calling me and texting me asking me about you. Like, answer people. And I don't know, I think it was because when you come to Miami, it's kind of like, yeah, everybody's like, beep, 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 the beeping, the rush, and the, you know, and this problem and that beef. And it's like, I came with this inner peace that I didn't want to interrupt by anybody, and I didn't even realize it until she told me that.
It's crazy. They figured it out, man. Like the politeness. I remember, like in the locker rooms, I went to corner my friend. He was fighting in K1 in the K1 show, and like I remember in the locker rooms, like you know the locker room in America, like when we finish fighting, what does it look like? It looks like a
garbage.
bro. It's garbage, trash,
like
all
Dade
the
County,
wraps.
like Dade County
It's like
bathroom.
yes,
Yeah.
bro. They cut their gloves. They leave their everything tape. Bro, in the Japan, they have three trash cans for like recyclables, for food, and for like they have 3 different trash cans for like plastic, papers, and it's just so orderly and perfect. And everybody was so. I love the 7-Eleven, though. I was getting sushi every day at 7-Eleven for breakfast.
Oh man, do you
It's
get the
amazing.
chicken, the fried chicken in 7-Eleven?
Oh, yeah, bro.
Jesus
The corn dogs, and
Christ!
they have
Oh
the-
my God!
I don't know how they figured it out, bro.
And then they have all these vitamins, like shots that you can drink.
It's crazy,
Like
bro.
kind of like a GNC in a 7-Eleven. It's crazy, man.
And they live for that's one of the places.
Longest lifespans.
Yeah.
Okinawa.
Yeah, oh, that's where it's at.
Yep.
I read this book called Ikigai. I will always mention a book in the podcast. That's the book I recommend. It's about like it's a Japanese book about like the place where they live. I guess it's there in Okinawa where they have like the longest
Longest lifespan, and it has the lowest obesity in the world.
Yeah, and they were talking about it's because they say they call it the Ikigai, Ikigai. I think that's the word. And then but yeah, it's like your purpose. Like everybody there has like a purpose where they do like gardening or something like that,
Yeah.
or like pottery and like community and stuff like this, you know? So I think we got that with martial arts, bro.
Yeah.
That we're super lucky. I think that's
Yeah.
something that keeps us young, you know?
Of course, and the walking too, right? Like the transportation is so good over there.
Oh, yeah.
That everywhere
yeah.
you don't have to have a car. Like
No,
you
they
just
don't need a car.
they're walking everywhere.
And they're in super good shape too.
Yeah.
And they walk, bro. Their steps per minute is crazy. I remember when I went to go visit, I was tired of walking. I'm from Miami, though. I like to get in the car and drive.
You're not used to it. Yeah, you're not used to
You
it.
gotta get used to that walking
Yeah.
life, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, no, Asians, they're pretty good about that. Like,
Yeah.
I lived in Singapore for a little bit, and it's the same thing there. Like, they have a lot of public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a girlfriend there, and I remember like my feet were getting tired after like an hour of walking
Bro,
around.
in
you know?
3
she
weeks-
could walk, bro. It's crazy.
In 3 weeks that I was in Japan, look at this shit. 3 weeks in Japan, eating 3 times a day, didn't train once. I didn't gain 1 pound. How is that possible? I come back to Miami. The first week I was in Miami, and I started training just once a day. I gained 10 pounds.
I mean, you think it's what do you think it's what they're putting in the food, bro? They're poisoning us in this country, dog.
1,000%, brother.
We're in the cancer era. Yo, how many friends I got that have cancer the same age as me?
Yep.
And all they did was train their whole life. Like, all they did was eat the food.
And they're here battling cancer. And it's not just in your food, man. It's in the products, bro. And people don't understand. Like, if you...
Water and shit, bro. The plastic water, which I'm about to drink right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm in this cancer right now. Dog.
The nanoplastics, I eliminated from my house, man.
You did it, right?
Yeah,
That's what I got to do.
My whole house has a water filtration now. And even so, the water that we bathe with, wash our vegetables with, and fruits, that's all filtered. And even that water, we filter it again before we drink it.
Oh, so you're on that good organic tip right now, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more.
Look, man, it's either you pay for your health as you go, or you pay for your health when you're sick. One or the other. And I'd rather invest in it as I go.
That's heavy right there, man. We're gonna have to chicka rewind. Yo, you gotta say that again. How is it? The
Look, man, like, this is the way that I say it to most people, right? We're not in control of when we die. We have nobody can control when we die, but you can definitely control how you age. You know what I mean? And that all comes down to your discipline on what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. And that doesn't just mean your water and your food, man. Like, take a look at your deodorant. Take a look at the toothpaste you're using. Take a look at the shampoo and conditioner, the daily uses. Take a look at the stuff you wash your clothes with. Take a look at the clothes you wear near your private, and read about the absorptions of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot to it, and if you don't research about it, man, you're just not gonna know. You're gonna be in the dark.
Bro, what about the phones in your pockets next to your balls? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to throw my foot out the window right now.
Radiation is real, man. It's real.
And
you
know?
Sleep
with it I sleep with it underneath my pillow.
People think about
like a gun.
Okay, and what about the Wi-Fi, man? You go to sleep with your Wi-Fi's on. It's messing you up while you're sleeping, man. It's messing your sleeping patterns.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, bro. It's serious. It's serious. Turn off the Wi-Fi, man. You don't need it at sleep. You're going to sleep. You don't need it. The Wi-Fi router shouldn't be in your room. It should not be in your room. Wi-Fi should not be on. Your phone should be away from your room to begin with. Right? It should be. It just should be.
You know, it's funny.
I still need to practice that.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, because like I think nobody said it better than Elon Musk, right? Somebody was asking him about, becoming like cybernetic, like becoming like cyborgs in the future. Are we there yet? And his answer was very simple. Like, well, if you think about it, your phone is already an extension of yourself. Bro. Like everything is in your phone. You think through your phone nowadays.
I can't go 4 minutes, bro. I'll get anxiety like you don't believe. God forbid. I left it in the gym the other day. My heart almost stopped. I was like,
it's a true addiction.
Phone, you know,
it's
crazy.
Addiction.
They got us by the. Yep. You seen that documentary? The one on Netflix, the social dilemma or something.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've been hearing about that one.
It's heavy. Like the first line of the movie, the guy gets you. He goes, "If a product is free, you're the product." Damn. And it just hit me like, yo, Google has been free since we've known it. We've been the product our whole lives, dog.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying though. Like this is like with the food, with the technology. They got like we were just doing what we thought was good for us, but now, like you said, thank God that we have conversations like this where you can say, hey, look, take a look at your laundry. I was looking into it. The fragrances, like I love those fragrance things for the room.
Yeah.
Bro, that's just bad for you, dog. You're just taking all these toxins, you know.
Bro, it's dropping your testosterone levels. Like, and look, man. We can get into conspiracy talks all day, and they're gonna call it conspiracy. But there's a certain limit to conspiracy, and there's a certain limit to truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You start talking about, look at the reproduction system right now, right? Like, we're not producing how we used to produce before. And then if you start to read on everything that's blocking your reproduction system, you'll be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a lot of it has to do with that, with controlling the reproductive system. You know, like messing it around. And then there's all these studies with the whole autism. I'm 43. The whole autism thing, that's relatively new for us.
It's new, bro.
Exactly. You know, and it's in the food, it's in the sugars. You know what I mean? Microplastics. They just found newborn baby, but I don't know how many millions of microplastics in the newborn baby. How's that possible?
Bro, I'm convinced that as a species, we went, as a human species, bro.
We're going backwards, bro.
We went the wrong way. Yeah. Like the humans before us, they built the pyramids. They figured out, they knew they had the same brains as us. but they knew how to use it better. Like, have you heard about the car that drives on water and they killed that guy?
Yeah, done.
Like, am I crazy for saying that, dog? Like,
you come
they got
up
a car that drives on water, and
done.
we're out here, like, you know.
And they've had more than one of those cases.
Yeah.
But then done.
You know what it is? It's the petroleum, bro. It's the gas, like so. That's another thing too. Like they say, the modern medicine. Remember modern medicine? They used to talk about like Chinese medicine. You're like, oh, remember they used to talk about like it's old wife witch tales. Bro, I lived in Thailand and Asia. Bro, those people, they're not like educated, gone to college, but they know more about the body.
As shit, right?
Bro, they know more about the body and growing food just from culture because it's so old. You know that like. Yeah, man, like the modern medicine, that the ancient medicine, they just made that like to sell the pills for the aspirin.
Exactly.
Tylenols,
My sister's a registered nurse practitioner, you know, and I love our nurses. I love our doctors. I am not against doctors. I am not against nurses. But the truth is the truth, right? Medicine today, you know, all of these people are being sponsored by certain people. I'm not even going to put names out there.
We gotta get this podcast.
Right. And exactly.
We're gonna get shadow banned.
Exactly. And
the lights are gonna turn off.
It comes down to this, right? It's like you get sick, and it's kind of like your car engine, right? Your car engine is gonna let you know the blinking light of something wrong with the engine, and then you go and just turn the light off. That's what medicine does. You turn off the light that is warning you about something that is wrong that you are not fixing at the root cause. You know what I'm saying? And that's through holistic. That's through the plants. That's through a simple nutrition. Like even my sister has even told me, like, man, you know, like I'm tired of my patients passing away when they could have just changed a simple diet. She works with dialysis, right? Like a simple diet could have changed their life. But that's not what they teach these doctors. It's not their fault. Yeah. They can be a part of the problem, but it's not their fault because that's not the way they're being trained and taught. You know, they're being taught, well, you know, if this is wrong, you put this medicine. If this medicine is work, you go with that medicine. And if that medicine works, great. And it'll make this and this wrong too, which will cost them to make this medicine.
Money. He's like, yo, you give them the $5
money. Yeah.
The $5 don't work, you give them the $10. And the $10, oh, you got to up it to the $25. And then it goes around. It's like, and then the money, yeah.
And if you were to just do a little fasting, do a little research on nutrition, cut out the fake sugars, you know, sugar is not bad, man. Fruits are good. Yep. Artificial sugars are horrible. And I was an addict.
Me too.
And I'm sure you've heard of the studies of the addiction of sugar compared to cocaine. Cocaine is here, sugar is here. Like a lot stronger. But it's legal.
No.
Everywhere you go.
Bro, they gave mice. They had that. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
They gave lab rice. They gave lab mice cocaine and sugar. Yep. The next day, they all went back to the sugar and they left the cocaine.
Yep. Crazy.
And that's what's legal, bro.
It's legal.
Alcohol, gambling, and sugar is all legal and pushed on us. Every fight night you watch, they tell you, right? You go out, you go to the fights, you go out, you drink the beer they tell you to drink from the commercials that they put in your head, and then when you go out and drive, you get a DUI, and then then you're in jail, and then you gotta, it's all...
The system is paying itself.
Each other, dog. It's crazy. I saw this one Instagram channel that I follow, and it had like, bro, it said every food that is good for your body, it's shaped like your body. Like whatever God made everything there. God made the world for us,
your
bro.
Lungs, for your heart.
The food that looks like lungs is for your lungs.
It's for your lungs.
Like the ginger is for like your intestines. And it looks like an intestine, bro.
It's crazy.
It looks exactly like
it's like God gave you the map right there, man.
And the tree, the root, that's our spine.
Yep, the roots,
brain, you know? Yeah, I'm convinced, bro. They got us off our vibrations, dog. Like,
what do you think now? You go. How many fruits can you go and find in Publix right now that has seeds in it?
Why there's no more older just Bill Gates is fucking jacking the seeds.
Oh my God! Don't even go. Don't even go with Bill Gates now. Don't let me get started with Bill Gates, bro. But yeah, most fruits have been genetically modified to the point that they carry no seeds, which means that two things: one, you can't grow that fruit in your house, so you have to keep buying it. And two, the most nutritious part of that fruit is the seed, and you can't consume it anymore.
Oh my gosh. And I have a theory on that. Living in the West, you know, like in America and stuff, like, all right, you fought in ACB or ACA. What was it? ACA at the time? Bro. Now, they might have a little bit. Now, those Russian guys, they might have a little bit of government-funded doping or whatever, but they're strong, dog.
They're very strong.
You know what I noticed traveling overseas, bro? Americans, we're the weakest pound for pound, bro. When you roll and train, like when I'll be on the mats, like the Eastern European guys, I don't know if
you get outpowered, huh?
Bro, it's because I don't know if their food is closer. They're more dense,
No,
bro. I
it
feel
is-
like they're
it is-
I
it
think
is-
it's because their food comes closer to the source.
It is because when I first came from
Concept, I know.
Peru, when I first came from Peru to America and I first started doing jiu-jitsu, one major thing, and this is before I started lifting weights, I was like a skinny, chubby guy. Like you could not tell what a bicep from a tricep. I was just like skinny but chubby at the same time, right? So it's like I had the weirdest body, bro, but I was powerful. Like they were like, what the fuck? They couldn't move me. Like I was very strong, you know. Like my sweet potato. We were just talking about it with my wife. Like she got some Japanese sweet potato the other day. I'm like, it tastes like the one from Peru. Doesn't taste like the one from here. You know, it's watered down.
And they're huge, like this big dog. It's just injected with
Injected
hormones and
with-
steroids that it's gonna get us cancer.
Yeah.
So yeah, the food is it's crazy. So but we gotta get right. You gotta get knowledge. This is the conversations like this is what's really gonna help, man.
Yeah,
because
man, yeah.
somebody doesn't know and
And it's more
everybody's-
expensive, right? If you want to eat organic, which is the natural source, is more expensive.
How does that work, yo? It's crazy.
Oh, either you pay for it now, you pay for it later, man.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into gardening. Like in the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I thought like I was living in Thailand in the pandemic, and I'm like, bro, when I was watching the news and I seen the people falling down in China, I was like, oh, it's over, you
Hold
know.
up a second,
So I
yeah.
started buying mad seeds. I was trying to get cucumbers and tomatoes. I was like, oh, I'm gonna live on this farm forever, dog.
Yeah.
You know? And it's hard to grow though, man. Like
Yeah.
especially out in this climate, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
I've been trying for months. Like I got one tomato once, and then
Yeah.
like they dry out quick, you know. But,
Hydroponics. You have tried hydroponics?
no, but
Hydroponics are a little easier. to
yeah,
do-
that's what
to
I
do
heard. That's what
indoors,
my friend was telling me. I don't know. I don't want to know how he knows, but
There are mushrooms in there.
oh, bro. Yeah, the hydroponics. So the water, you can grow that anywhere, and then you can
Yeah,
grow it
indoors.
inside, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the way to go in Miami.
Yeah. Because the temperature is just,
I would
the
love
climate
that,
is
bro.
crazy here, you know?
That's the way to go, dog. Get a farm, get some cattle,
Yeah.
and grow your own crops.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
even that is being regulated right now, man. I don't know if you heard of the Amish family that was starting to sell raw milk. They were selling it to the community. The government came in there and just knocked everybody out, bro.
I saw that. I
Not
heard
the whole.
about
You heard
that.
about it? Knocked everything down. They had their own cattle, their own growth plants, or their vegetables, their fruits, their food, and they say, "Oh, you're not following regulations." They took it all down.
Yo, America is the only place in the world where you can't keep water. You can't collect
You
water.
can't collect water.
You
How?
can't collect water.
Man, where does that?
How do they prophesize water, dog?
Where does that fit, though?
I don't know, bro. This is what I'm saying.
How
like,
can you even understand that you can make your own water that comes down from the sky?
And dog, I don't think the human species was made to work made to work and produce like that.
not,
We're
of
made
course
to
not.
make. I think we're made to produce. Like we're definitely made to
Yeah,
produce,
yeah.
but not work for. You know,
man.
like they made. It's just that's
Look,
what I'm saying,
there
bro.
was some dude I saw on Instagram, I think it was, and he makes this example, right? It's actually like a set of things, like a show he's doing, right? But it was cool, right? Where he's like in court and he's talking to the court and he's showing the example. You know, this is a car in the 1940s. There's a car today. This is an airplane in the 1920s. This is a plane today, and so, right? All right. Now this is a school in the 19 whatever. This is a school today. It's the same exact thing. This is a prison. And this is a prison today. And it's the same exact thing. It's like everything has changed except for our education and the way that we deal with our health. Yeah.
And the lights are all the same. The lights in
Yeah.
prison, in jail, and the hospital are all the same.
In school.
Yo, and isn't that crazy? Like kids, there's a school in Japan where I saw that it's like a treetop play, where they do mostly just play all day. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I know. Even the school system, right? You got to sit there for 8 hours in the prime time of your life. You know, when you could be learning how to like do a skill. I think that's the age where you got to learn your skill, whatever it is you want to be. You want to be a hunter.
When you
wanna be a-
absorb the most, right?
Yeah, like a jiu-jitsu. You want to do like a Mike Muccimechi,
Yes.
like a jiu-jitsu phenom, bro. You can do that if you do it right. You know, like a
Yeah.
little bit of move. Yeah, it's.
Well,
crazy,
you're
man.
not trying to build leaders, man. You're trying to build,
building
followers.
followers.
that are gonna go to work, sit down, just like they sit down in the classroom. They're gonna sit on their cubicle and do the work that you asked them to do and be happy about it.
Employees.
Yeah, workers.
Which is crazy that I guess this is funny how it's interesting how with podcasts like this we can see how like all fighters, like you can see why we're fighters, you know, because we all have like the same characteristics and we all kind of lead, like all my fighter friends that I talk to, they're all free spirits, they all feel the
Free
same way.
spirit is
but
more
we
of a
didn't
leader
go-
mentality, right?
Yeah, it's weird, but we didn't go the route of like, you know, because the regular people, they talk to us and they're like, yo, you fight? That's crazy. And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I train every day, twice a day, take a nap at 2 to 4, and then go back to the gym. You go to work for 40
damn,
hours,
bro.
dog. You get out at 6, and then that's crazy to me. You know what
I
I'm
don't know if
saying?
you heard about that robot. I don't know who made it, but it was a robot that it was like connected to AI. and they made him do a job like a human would, right? And within like an hour or two, the robot says, just shut off. Like, you mean to tell me I got to do this for the rest of my life? That's what the robot said. Shut itself off.
Bro.
If a robot's doing that,
The robot's like, nah, I'm not doing this
hell no, I'm not
bullshit.
gonna. I gotta repeat this for the rest of my life. Nah, I'm done.
But
The
we
dude
do
shut
it.
itself off.
But we do it. We
Man,
go
we do
all
it.
the time.
Oh, we've
You know
been
what I'm
brainwashed to do it since we were born, man.
to follow orders, bro, and like it's scary, man. It's scary because now the younger generation is like they're very by the book. You know what I mean? And they're looking at us like old timers, like we're crazy. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, I definitely think the route is hitting the jungle eventually. You know, hiding out, dog. Because, bro, I moved to Miami. I was living in Asia for 10 years. I moved to Miami. I had no gray hairs before I got here, bro. Now my whole beard is gray. I can't handle this, dog.
I'm telling you, man.
Crazy,
The stress is different. The stress level. I'm telling you,
You know
the
what I'm
stress
saying?
level here is different, man.
Fucking, it's
The
crazy.
stress levels is different. You definitely feel it. We felt it. My wife was over there for nearly a month. You know, she was with her family first before I came over there.
Yeah.
And we come back and we're like, damn, we felt the difference, man. It's a huge difference. You know, it's the lifestyle. You know, it's different.
Yeah. When you would fight in Russia, how long would you stay? Just in and out? Like
I
a
would just
robbery
go for
the
like
fights?
I would go for like a week and a half to 2 weeks.
How'd you like Russia? It was like pretty interesting, or?
I think there was only one trip that I can actually say that I kind of enjoyed a little bit, and that's because I went to Slovakia. The first fight was in Grozny. I don't know if you ever heard of Grozny.
Oh, in Chechnya, bro.
Chechnya,
oh my gosh.
bro.
That's the
Yeah,
freaking...
yeah. Where I'm driving, look, you're gonna laugh at this shit. The guy picked me up in the airport, and we're going down the street, and I see like this lady's working construction. They're like covered, you know. There's very religious area.
Oh, the
right?
ladies work there, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the dude, you know, when we're driving, he's like, "Hey, Palomino, look at woman, no play woman, no touch woman." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm only here to fight, bro." You know what I mean? And then when I start seeing women, they're just like covered all the way up, only the eyes showing. Like, all right, cool,
Yeah,
you know.
they don't play that.
You couldn't even wear shorts, and I had brought only like 2 pants, and you can't wear shorts outside of the street. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's right. They're always draped up.
Yeah,
They
you
always wear
can't.
the drapes,
Men
man.
can't wear shorts. You gotta wear pants too. You know, and then that was Grozny, right? I didn't like Grozny at all. And then I fought in St. Petersburg, and I went to Slovakia. Slovakia was okay, but in that time that I fought Slovakia, I was staying in Austria. Austria was like an hour away or something, and that was like my funnest.
I heard Austria's beautiful.
Austria was beautiful, man.
It's like Germany, right? Like it's right around there, you know?
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Beautiful. I was there like 2 weeks over there. Did teaching seminars. It was just different. It was different.
And the buildings, right? You can tell from. I
Yeah.
heard that the construction. You can tell the way the
The
buildings
old-
are.
yeah,
They
the
really
old
cared
school-
about the way it was built. You know?
Yes. And like well taken care of, like beautiful, just beautiful, peaceful. Like I can compare it to Japan in a peaceful sense.
Yeah.
Just different culture, but it was really nice. Austria was beautiful.
How's the
It was
food?
called Vienna in Vienna.
Vienna. Ah, okay. Oh, the
Vienna.
Vienna sausage. Is that really from there, or is that fake? Is
Vienna.
that just
I
some
don't know
American
about
shit
that
we
one,
do?
but that's where.
You know, we be eating French food, like, yo, the French, dog. Like, nah, bro, they don't call that shit.
I think those were Arnold Schwarzenegger was from.
Yeah. That's Austria. So that's why you think the accent. It's just like a bunch of Arnolds walking around, you know?
Yeah, really good people though. A lot of chocolate.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of chocolate,
yeah.
bro. There's some serious chocolate. Those said I was addicted to sugar.
So you're not doing no sugar now, like nothing.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Look, it's a battle. It's a constant battle, but I'm at my best point right now with battling sugar. It's a battle. I'm telling you, I was addicted. Man, she has a picture of me. There's no exaggeration. You know the big jars of Nutella? The big ones? She has a picture of me when she's come back home from work, and I've been passed out in the bed with a spoon in it, empty, in one day.
After a big KO, though, you know what I'm saying?
After losing a fight.
or vice versa.
The jug like this, bro. The big jug of Nutella in one day watching Netflix. That. And one thing about addiction, I was addicted to sugar. My blood work was coming out pre-diabetic. I like, hold up. So I had to stop. I had to literally stop.
Oh man, yeah, but that kind of makes me reflect on myself because I've been realizing now the older I get, I've been like I used to only drink like a half a Coke and lunch, but now with lunch I'll cash the whole thing like fast, you know, or
man,
like
get off the Coke, bro.
you know what I'm saying? I know.
Get off
with,
the sodas, my brother.
with a little meal, it feels
have
good,
you
you know.
seen what Coke can do to rust?
No, but I did see how much sugar is in a Coke compared like when they
Okay, so that's the sugar. So that's the sugar, right? That's just the sugar, right? Okay. You already know about the sugar. All right, now grab something that's rusted and pour Coke over it and tell me what it does to it. Imagine your stomach.
Oh, I seen that. It cleans it.
It cleans it. If it's doing that to the rust, imagine to your organic system.
It's the poison that they put, bro.
It's horrible, bro. It's really bad stuff, man. I replaced, it took me a while to replace sodas. I probably replaced that like about 7 years ago. And I replaced it with kombucha because of the gas feelings what you really want.
Damn.
That what do you call that? It's a fermented drink.
Yeah, no, kombucha is amazing, and it's good for your probiotics, right?
Yes, and it has that gas, like kind of like a sort of refreshing. Yeah, the refreshing feeling. I replaced the sodas with that, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If this was a long time ago, but if I have a pizza or if I have a burger, I have a soda.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
of that meal, because it goes with it. But even pizza, my wife and I were like, we start eating so good that we went to try the pizza again, and like, man, we didn't like it. And then we tried pizza again, and we didn't like it. And then we say, no, okay, let's not do the Papa John's or the Pizza House. Let's try pizza. We go to eat pizza. We don't even like it no more, man. Is what nutritional value is in there?
The cheese is really bad for you, bro. Dairy is so bad.
And the
dough is gluten. It's gluten is glue.
There's no nutritional value, bro.
Gluten is glue. They make it so that you can last forever, you know.
Yeah.
Like.
And I think once you've eliminated those toxins from your body knows. Your body knows, like you recognize. Because I eat it, and I'm like, whoa, I feel bad. But I tried Wingstop as a treat about 2-3 months ago. Let's treat ourselves. 2 months ago, I think it was. I just the oil, like you feel the level of nastiness when you've let it go for long enough.
Your body knows, right?
Your body knows.
It's like, oh. Yeah, I remember one time I was eating really healthy, and then I had fast food for the first time, and then like I think it was after a fight, like I had fast food, and it was like my stomach was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" You know,
yeah,
it was
like that.
It
like
just
that.
feels the poison.
Regret, instant regret.
Yeah,
you feel nasty the same day and the next day.
Yo, that's true. What you eat has a lot to do with how you feel and how you're on like your aura too.
Well, us as fighters, as athletes, this took me also a long time to learn throughout my career. You learn to eat to perform. Most people eat because of hunger. And when you eat and you get hungry and you notice that you still get hungry and you keep eating because you're still hungry and you keep eating, it's normally because you didn't get any nutritional value in your food.
It's empty calories.
So like your brain didn't perceive I'm full. When your brain says I'm full, is because you have enough nutritional value in your body for your body to break down and use as energy. So if you don't get that nutritional value out of your food, you're still hungry. That's why when you eat Chinese food, you want to keep eating it. You eat Chinese food, you eat it again, and you eat more, and you eat more. You eat pizza, you can eat it again. You eat burgers, you can eat it again. You eat fries, you can keep eating more.
You can eat a lot.
Pasta, you can eat a lot more because you have enough nutritional value in the food.
Oh, compared to like when it's broken down and stuff, right? Oh, that was heavy. Yeah, man. and then you know what's crazy too is like you try to tell this, but you only get this through experience, But fighting for how long you been fighting, bro? 20 years.
Going 17, going to 18 years
professional.
Now. Professional.
So it takes a long time,
It takes a long time, bro.
Imagine if you can take what you know now and just give it to a young fighter. Like, yo, eat healthy now. Don't,
And they won't listen, because you have to experience it. Unless it's like a family member or somebody that's really in your life that you look up to, you're not going to listen. Because we love, as fighters, most of us, we love to learn by the hits. Like un niño malo. Like your mom teaches you, "Pa, don't do it like that." Okay, now you get it. It's like they won't, like some of them, very few, maybe 1% will take the information and appreciate it. Most of them have to experience the ups and downs to be able to like realize, oh, yeah, it's better if I do it like this. Like I've had moments where Master Cesar, my ex-master of Capoeira, right, where he's taught me and told me something and advised me on something. And then, like 5 years fucking later, somebody else has told me the same thing, and now I got it.
Yo.
and it's like he's like you're like, oh, now you're listening to him, huh? I'm like, oh yeah, you did tell me that like 5 years ago.
Interesting. Yeah, that's how the world works.
Yep.
It's like when you're ready to process it. That's life, bro. That's why you can't be. That's what's good about being old and a martial artist, though, because that's one thing about fighting, right?
Yeah.
Like fighting is the one thing that experience trumps everything.
Yes.
Knowledge, like
Yes.
mastery.
Yes.
That's when you get the old, like, the old master guy with like the whiskers and you can't touch him. That's the thing about martial arts,
Yes.
No matter how athletic and young and strong a guy is, he's not gonna,
It's the wisdom, bro.
It's the wisdom,
It's the
bro.
wisdom, man.
And when you can
and
tap into
maturity,
that.
right? You know, you have to mature, right? Like I thank God for my wife, for example, right? If I would have gotten this woman maybe like 5 years sooner, I would have never appreciated that woman. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's maturity, right? Like you have to get to a certain mature level for you to understand the blessings that you have in front of you. And that's why sometimes you feel like God is not giving you, you know, what you deserve or what you want or what you're asking for. And it's because God doesn't see you that you're ready for it. It's like, I'll give it to you. You're going to just lose it or throw it away. You're not going to appreciate it.
You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. You know?
Exactly.
And like, yeah, when you say that now, I'm thinking, because now, like, man, you're inspiring me though right now. I had Yuli on the part. He inspired me a little bit too, because I thought like, bro, I'm in the same boat that you were before BKFC, bro. I was on a 4-fight skid, but in those fights, bro, like I just was not training. Like I was going into those fights like for
you weren't fully there.
I wanted money. I needed the money. It was like short notice.
And that's the worst thing about all fighters. That we all do the mistake, and I've done it. And I manage fighters now. And the first thing that I do is I talk to them about that, right? Once you're fighting, man, and you start to relate your winning mentality or the outcome of your fight on the money you're going to make, you're in the wrong place, bro. You're in the wrong place in your own head, all right? You have to, and this is the things that promoters will use against you. And this is, I don't care what promoter takes this the wrong way. Promoters will use the ability of saying, you need me, I don't need you. So if you're fighting for the money because you need it and you're counting on it for your bills, you're in the wrong place, bro. You need to establish yourself. If you don't have a management company, if you don't have sponsorships behind you, you need to do for yourself is you need to create a plan in which you make X amount of money to cover your overhead, where you're not in need of the money of that fight. So if you have to put yourself in a situation where like, okay, well, if I want to do fighting, then I'm going to put myself here because here my overhead is this much and I can make this much doing this side job while I'm still training to fight. That means that when you fight and you win that fight, that check completely is a gain away from your expenses. And with that money, you can make that money grow and invest it in other places. You know what I'm saying? But if you live check to check on the fight, you're living on the gig. And it took me, bro, I heard Dana White say it. You know, fighters look at this like a full-time job. Like this is, and it is. MMA is a full-time job. You got to do so much to get ready. You got to sacrifice so much. But unfortunately, it really isn't. It's a gig that you're getting paid for a certain amount of money when you get that fight. And what if you got injured before the fight and you didn't get the fight? But you're putting all your eggs in that basket. You know what I'm saying? So fighters need to look at it a different way. If you are a fighter that's just coming up, whether you're young, you're old, you're in the midway of your fighting life, you need to make a decision with yourself like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a 5-year plan. In this next 5 years, I'm going to give it all in the fighting career. But for me to do that, I'm going to put myself to live like this so that my overhead can cover the way I live, so I don't depend on the money. That way, when the fight comes up, I don't take the fight just because I needed the money for that month or the next month. You take the fight because you know you can win that fight because everything makes sense for you to win that fight. You're not taking the fight because you need to make that money and then everything else you have to outweigh to see if you win the fight, to see if you make it to the fight, to then be able to get the money to be able. You can't think about it like that. You have to put yourself in a position where you can cover yourself for those months as you're living for that year, for those 2 years, 3, 4 year, 5 year plan. And every time that you make money, it's an extra to your overhead. And that shit took me years to learn and to accept and to even put it into work. That's like my biggest advice to any fighter out there.
Bro,
you know?
That's knowledge right there.
Yes,
because
sir.
that's how you can fight free. And like you said, you can fight because you're going to win that fight.
You pick and choose. Like, this fight, not this fight. But that's what a manager's going to do. A manager's going to come is, when I did MMA, I fought everybody. Didn't matter who I fought the best. I had to fight the baddest because I had heart and I didn't have a manager. And Baboon doesn't say no. Baboon will fight him. Will fight him. Doesn't matter this weight class. Doesn't matter if he just came. Bro, when I was fighting in CFA, everybody was fighting people from CFA. I was fighting only fighters that came out of UFC.
Yeah.
How you figure? The only opponents for me were people that came out of UFC. Like UFC level fighters in CFA. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's because you were managing yourself, and
exactly.
then we go on our balls and our bronzes. Like,
Exactly.
and then you almost and you almost take it like an offense. Like, oh, you're gonna give me this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
But then your manager will be like,
What are you
no,
doing? Yeah,
no.
there's no emotions. Business.
Oh, this guy's a D3 wrestler. No, but we don't have the. Yeah.
You're a fighter. You're a fighter. As a fighter, you gotta accept it. That's why management's important. You know what I mean? Look, I still manage myself, but I don't do it how I used to do it anymore. I have a partner now. So Hugo Florido is my immigration attorney. Hugo Florido is a man that helped me become legal after 31 years illegal in this country. Right? He's my friend. He's my big brother. He's a mentor, you know, and now he's my partner. So now we have a company that I named Primal Instinct Management, right? Because my instinct is primal. I want to bite. I want to kill you. When you tell me you're fighting him, I'm going to kill you. But I have to manage that. I have to manage my primal instinct. So I call it primal instinct management, right? So how do we work? Now, I get Hugo, and Hugo advises me, no, we can't go this, we got to go that way. Why? Hugo's separating the emotions that a fighter has from the business aspect. You know what I'm saying? And then when we start working on other fighters, I know how to work the fighter. I know what the fighter wants. I know where the fighter should go in the fighter's sense. Hugo knows which way we should go in the business sense. And we make a perfect team. You know what I mean? But if you're managing yourself, I would say remove yourself from managing yourself. At the very least, if you're going to manage yourself, get a partner that is all business. If you can't handle that, then get a manager, you know, even if it's just for a year. But listen to the professional, because you're the professional in the cage or in the ring, right? He's a professional in the court. He's a professional with the paperwork, you know, and the fighter's always going to make emotional decisions. And the fighter, every time the fighter goes after a sponsorship, you devalue yourself. So it's better that my partner goes and calls OnlyFans and talks, hey, I represent Palomino, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like right now, I just finished closing the biggest deal of my life for sponsorships with OnlyFans. I didn't do that without Hugo. Hugo set the base. I finished the contract. You know what I'm saying?
Genius.
And now we have a very good deal.
Yo, OnlyFans making moves too. Like they got comedians, they got everything.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
they're using the platform, right? They're using that attraction that they have, which we know where it came from. I'm not gonna be showing my nipples. It's not about that.
That's an exclusive,
so,
dog.
sorry, man, you can't. You're not gonna see Baboon's nipples in there. Like Rick Lamas. Rick Lamas did with them Amazonian nipples. Like, come on, bro. Anyways.
Yeah, the Inca Power nipples.
Exactly. But what they're using now their platform to attract different people. Like, you know, they're using athletes, you know, comedians to create their own fan base. And this is the platform I've been looking for, because I wanted to do it through YouTube, but I never started a YouTube channel. And I didn't want to go and do a bunch of things. And man, social media is work. You know what I mean?
Lot, bro.
It's work, you know? So now with the money that they offer me, I hired a team. I have a team. You know, my wife is part of my team. I have Sobi Films, which is my boy Yannick. He's a monster with filming.
I saw somebody filming yesterday. Was that him? The guy who was filming yesterday?
Yeah, Sobi Films.
But yeah, the social media, bro, we're getting already older where it's past that. We need like young 20-year-olds to hold it down.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because even with the podcast now, I'm kind of done fighting, but now I'm like, oh shit, I got to do this all over again. Like, Pat and all that stuff, you know? But the social media is a tough one, man. Like, all our careers, you know, fighters, you need it. Yeah. Now, me coaching more, like, I need it like a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Man, so, like, it's important, right?
You have to work with it. It's important. Like, if you're an athlete, period, forget about just fighter. You're an athlete, you need social media. Like right now, it's a day, and it sucks, man. For the hardcore guys like us, the old school guys, it sucks because it's not about how good you are anymore. It's about how popular you are. You know, look, I'm never gonna put. I love Mike Perry's character. I love watching him fight. I have much respect for the dude, for his family. The dude is dope. I'm a fan of Perry, and we're cool. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm gonna have my perception of things, and I'm gonna have my belief in myself and how I see myself next to him. How I see myself next to him, I see myself as the better bare knuckle boxer. He's a beast, he's an animal, he's a dog, but I'm better, you know, and I've proved it over and over again. I'm 9-0 with 6 world title defenses. He's 4-0 in my organization. Yet he's getting a way bigger paycheck because he's more popular.
More marketable. Or not marketable, but more popular, yeah.
More known. You know, he has those names. You know, he came into BKFC already with like 500,000 followers to begin with. So it already puts you at a stat, right? So that's what I'm talking about as before it was who's best and who's more popular. That's my point.
Yeah.
Without insulting anybody.
No, for sure. That's the name of the game, you know. Like you can't you put it a good way, right? We're not gonna hate, you know. Like you're never gonna hate the man for making bread. Like you get in how you fit in, right?
No,
like,
I just want to fight you for it.
There you go.
But I'm gonna fight you for it. You know, like, if they're calling you the face of the organization, while I'm sitting here at a 9-0 record with 6 world title defenses, undefeated in 2-weight divisions, and you're the face of the, and they, you know, even the BKFC is calling you the face of the organization. The fans are calling you the face of the organization. Fine. All I'm saying is fight for it.
And yeah, like he's coming into your territory technically, dog. Like
let's fight for
4 years now. With 2020, you made your BKFC debut.
Yep.
How many guys have been on top for 4 years? You know, you're gonna like start touching other champions. You know what I mean? They're all going down. Boom, boom. You're still out here. So that's a great fight. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that Dave Feldman is a man of his word. That's one thing that he stands by. You know, he'll tell you that. He's brought that up many times. I'm a man of my word. If I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And the last time that I spoke to the Feldman, he told me like that straight up. He says, look, you do what you do, and I do what I do. And what he meant by that was, you put on a show like you say you're going to put on a show in this next fight, February 2nd. You put on a show, and then I do what I do, and I'm going to get you that fight. I said, okay. So, February 2nd.
February 2nd, my brother. I really appreciate you coming out and taking the time, man.
My brother.
I wanted to talk to you about that. I'm glad you brought it up. So you got your management company. You
Yes.
got a lot going on, bro.
Yes. So I do have a lot going on. Right now I'm focused on February 2nd, as we just mentioned. But Primal Instinct Management, I am managing anything that has to do with boxers, glove boxing, bare knuckle boxing, and MMA. So everything that has to do with combat sports, that's where I'm at. I'm not doing Muay Thai, kickboxing. I'm not doing that. MMA, bare knuckle boxing. Also, bare knuckle MMA is paying very well, and I have the hookup. So if you are interested in that, buddy, I got some good numbers for you that you would like. Oh, yes.
Bro, bare knuckle, I'm worried about my hands breaking, but if I could just grab a fool and choke him with no gloves, dog.
Ooh, I'm going to tell you the truth.
The MMA fucks me up, bro. The MMA fucks you with the...
I'm going to tell you the truth. Bare knuckle MMA, game break promotion, I'm going to be real for you guys that are listening and for you. Right now, it's a growing sport. Just like BKFC, just, still growing, right? Well, bare knuckle MMA is even newer than BKFC. So right now, they're focused on strikers that are coming in to put on a show. So if you're an MMA fighter, fine. But just know what I'm looking for when it comes to game break promotions is dudes that are coming in to bang, because that's what they're looking for right now. They're hungry for them, and they're building their roster on them.
They want violence.
Yeah, they want violence. All
right. I'm going to go to submission grappling underground. I got this big ass scar. I'm good. Oh, shit, my man. Brother, we're going to do a raffle. I'm going to give 2 more tickets for the Honey Badger Hour fans. You know what I'm saying? We've already been going for a while. We can go all day. We're going to have you back for the conspiracy part 2.
After the fight.
We'll come back, put the belt on the table.
All right, we do that.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll have to do a part 2 continue.
You got
it's
it.
Fight week. Yo, thank you so much for coming out, especially on Fight Week, dog. You know,
sure.
I get a little bit shy to ask people and stuff like this. You know, yo, we met at Boxer, dog. How good, right? So shout out to Boxer.
No, shout out to Boxer, man. My boy Mateo. They treat me like family. You know, as a matter of fact, you will see on my shorts. You'll see Boxer right there in the front, and that's the love that I show to them because they always show love to me. You know, it's the House of Champions. They received the champion very well over there, so yes, they're part of the family.
No, I love it, man. I just started working there like a few months back, and it's been all blessings. You know what I mean? And I'm doing the podcast. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time, and then sure enough, boom, you're there next to me a few times. I fucked up. I had you there a few times. I'm like a little bit shy, but I'm finally I got you 4 days before your fight. Perfect. When you're cutting weight and shit. Bueno, dale, ladies and gentlemen, Honey Badger Hour. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Baboon.
Dale, brother. Done deal.
We out.